This is the story of how I got my first job in the VFX industry, working on one of the most expensive Chinese movies ever made. It's an ambitious film starring top Chinese actors and packed with really weird and epic VFX work from some of the top VFX studios in the world. Asura is an epic fantasy film that would hopefully take the world by storm, perhaps becoming a trilogy like Lord of the Rings. In fact, they hired the costume designer from the Lord of the Rings. The hero is a humble shepherd boy who, like Frodo, learns he's the chosen one. He teams up with a rebel leader and love interest, and Tuka, a warrior turned into a pumpkin creature. Quite a few massive VFX studios were hired for this thing to do hundreds of highly complicated shots. I'm sure a big chunk of the budget went to VFX. Environments and creature builds are pretty expensive. Want a hero CG creature? That could run you $400,000 just to build the thing. The cute little pumpkin guy? Not cheap. There were a lot of practical stunts using wires and rigs, which I later spent months painstakingly removing. The director was previously a stunt coordinator, Ant-Man, and later Shang-Chi. Some of the wire work was insane. Look at those rigs. I mean, these guys are flying. I started as a rotopaint artist, which means my job was to remove all these rigs and wires. I did a lot of complicated clean plates and rotoed a lot of people's legs to replace floors. And I got pretty good at it. Before this job, I had never worked in the VFX industry. I didn't even know the software I was using before the first day on the job. So I was just thrown into the mix and I had to figure it out as I went. Some of the shots had to be rotoed entirely because they used a massive LED screen for the background. It was used as a blue screen and as a way to cast light onto set that would match the CG environment later. This method was not as common back in 2018 as LED volumes are now. It just shows you how ambitious this movie was. At Refuge, we worked on these beautiful winged creatures called remnants that carry the heroes around. I later found out that there were actually humans trapped inside these creatures, and we did a shot where they were created in a really creepy, unsettling way. We created a floating palace with giant tendrils, with an aerial battle taking place amongst them. We used the lens flares from Tron Legacy because the VFX supervisor, Charlie Iturriaga, had also worked on Tron. Hopefully I said your name right. He's also known for his work on Deadpool, Fast and Furious 7, and Suicide Squad. It was a great experience working on this movie, and I learned the foundation of everything I know today. By the end, I was promoted to compositor and given my own shots to bring to completion. It was an amazing feeling. Finally, the release date came. In China, anyway. And I was eagerly awaiting the US release. I could not wait to go see my work on the big screen. This movie made headlines back in 2018 by failing so spectacularly in Chinese cinemas that it earned the title of a mega bomb. It grossed $7 million in the box office opening weekend and was pulled from theaters 3 days later. There was talk of re-releasing the film with edits, but now, 6 years later, I don't think anybody's going to get to watch it. If you're out there and you have access to this movie, I want to watch it. I mean, if Netflix bought it, it would sort of just fit in with all their other movies. So, there's an idea.